it's true. Don't tell me it's true.
No one has
It's true.
in their top 10 list for Premier League centre backs this season.
What is going on?
3 games, 3
Let's
clean
hear it.
sheets.
And how many wins? How many wins?
No, the wins don't matter. That's not his job.
The
though.
wins don't matter.
Their own thing.
Trust me.
Mav, you are the
Yes.
only person.
So hang on a minute. Everybody was calling me an idiot the other day.
Who's everyone?
Everyone.
When did this happen? I don't know what you're referring to. I'm hearing voices in my head. You said that, bro. 7th place in our top 10 centre.
Do you know what? I'm done with this video. I'm actually...
Yo, what is everyone saying? Welcome back to another episode of the Total 90 Pod. And I can't lie to you lot. This is one of those ones here where we haven't even started recording, but I know already we are in for some chaos. Today we're going to be ranking the top 10 Premier League centre-backs this season. But before I explain all the criteria and whatnot, let me introduce the panelists. First up, some guys say this guy looks like Upamecano, some guys say he looks like Rudiger, but this guy applies his trade in real life trying to get beyond these defenders. Mr. Drew GH, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. What's good that you telling me?
Yeah, I'm blessed, mate. I've seen your list. I'm already very intrigued by what's going to be happening in the next hour or so, but we shall see who are gone. Next up, we have a brand new face on the panel. If you man thought me and Mav disagree on a lot of things, I've been arguing with this guy about football since like year 8 when it was Jack Wilshere versus Josh McEachran in them times. Ali, what's good, sir?
Yo. Excited to be making my debut.
Yeah, for those that don't know, this is one of those Chelsea fans that like he'll tell you, oh, charge it, like get your money up, cry if you bring up all the finances.
No
and that.
violins
So
around here.
just bear that in mind. And lastly, it's impossible to do a top 10 centre-backs list without a man who has played frequently at centre-back during his career. And most notably alongside myself, that wonderful 20 minutes where we didn't concede a single goal and then I went back on the wing. Mav, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, and I can't lie. I even said to you at the time, I couldn't believe how comfortable I felt having you in centre-back in comparison to some of the other options. So what an experience that was. Excited to see people's list today.
Yeah, low-key, I think I could get in this top 10, but yeah, there we go.
No, I don't know about that.
No, judging by some of these names, maybe, but we'll see it. As always, the rules are simple, but I'll explain for anyone who may happen to be new here, just in case, or in case you need a bit of a refresher or whatever. I have asked people to send in their top 10 centre-backs this season based on their individual ability, their importance to their team, and of course their consistency throughout the season. Every time somebody finishes first on your list, that's 10 points. Second place equals 9 points. Third is 8. All the way down to 10th place on your list gets you 1 single point. There are 9 voters in total, which means, as per usual, if one player scores 10 points on all 9 people's lists, that would give them a maximum total 90. And to ensure there's no bias before guys start crying or whatever, the voters, they consist of 2 United fans, 2 Chelsea fans, 2 Arsenal fans. We have a Spurs fan in there, a Bayern fan, and my number 1 favourite Swindon Town fan as well. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into these honourable mentions and see if we can finally have somebody join Neymar as the only man in history to get a total 90. And first up, in 20, see this video is already going to be chaos, man.
Did you say, you're about to say in 20th?
In 20th, yes, in 20th. I feel as though someone on this panel may have been influenced by the YouTube comments, if you will. Because one man has this player in, nobody else has this person, and he's sitting with us today here. In 20th place with 1 point, Virgil van Dijk. I cannot believe he's on the list, and he's the first name that we mentioned. Would the perpetrator please like to explain themselves?
Hello.
Yes.
So yes, I knew I was going to be in this position when I put him in the list. For me, I just didn't feel right doing a top 10 defenders list and VVD not being in it. Other players could probably end up above him. I'm going to be honest. That's why I put him there, and I knew I was going to have to tell you guys that. Right, I knew it.
So
knew
basically, you didn't follow the rules. Fair enough.
In a way, yeah. Basically, I'm admitting.
Drew, was Van Dijk anywhere near your list?
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was from this season. It wasn't from like the last 5 seasons. I thought it was from this season.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like how cold you were like 3 years ago.
Look, I'm not. Look, my hands are up, but like I said, I've seen guys break criteria consistently on these videos. So I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna break it with chest. I have to put him in at least the 10.
Fair. Hey, Ali, what do you think about him getting 4 clean sheets in 17 games? That's a bit of a stinker. Now, was he near your list?
No. I've been waiting for Van Dijk's downfall, so I'll be real. I was celebrating not putting him in my list.
So have I. I really, I've been waiting it as well.
It's kind of mad how we do a top 10 list and Van Dijk is the first name we mention as one honorable mention. But it gets even madder when you hear the next name. Because joining him, so these are joint 19th, 20th place. They both got 1 point. The next name, and I think the person knows who he is as well. He's given this man 1 point. Level on points with Virgil van Dijk. We have Robert Holding.
Wow.
Who
1
did
point.
that? Who
Wow.
did that? Who did that?
Wow.
Who did that, guys? Who did that, guys?
Wow.
Anyone here do that?
No one has
The only
Rob
person
Holding.
I know who backs Rob Holding is Jage. Don't tell me it's true. Don't tell me it's true.
No one has Rob
It's
Holding
true.
in their top 10 list for Premier League centre backs this season.
Oh no, Drew's here on Bants today. I feel it.
Drew, chat to us.
Brothers
Chat to
on
us. He's
Bants.
10th in your list.
Bro.
What do you think about that?
Honestly, I think Operation Houdini, you bring him on, 5 at the back, the game is locked off, bro. How many Premier League games has he featured in that Arsenal have lost this season?
It's a very good
I rest
question.
my
I can tell you.
I'll ask you a better question.
many
How many
games has he
Premier League
featured?
games has he featured in?
That's not,
I
that's
can
not
tell
a
you that
bad
one.
question, though.
No, it
The
is.
answer is 6.
It's a more
The answer is
important
6,
question.
and all 6 games were cooking. And he got a new hairline as well, so we have to obviously factor that one in.
Hairline aside.
Can I ask another question? How many games have Arsenal lost when Lokonga's been on the pitch in the Prem?
So you think we just have these numbers, like, bro?
The reason why that's not the same is because the effectiveness when he's on the pitch isn't the same as Rob Holding, bro. Rob Holding, when he comes on, he has the aura that your VVD thinks he has.
No.
He has the aura that your VVD thinks he has. When people see Rob Holding,
I can't hear
Well,
it.
it's fine,
When
it's
he
fine,
comes in,
it's
there's
fine.
5
The
v
energy is
3.
not Holding. I
enter
understand
in the
it.
pitch,
No, I
they know,
understand it.
yeah, lockdown,
No, I
game's done.
understand.
Yeah, long
I
day,
understand,
like game
I
over,
understand,
game
I
over.
understand.
No. I hear what he's saying. I hear what he's saying.
No, you don't.
Ali, wait,
No, you
what are you
don't.
telling me,
No,
bro?
you don't. Not even top 20 of this season.
He looks up your goal, Erling Haaland, though. To be fair,
I
he
don't
did look up your
care.
goal.
I don't care what he did. I don't care. He's outside of all of them.
But
Listen, we're
Van
on
Dijk's
Bants.
better because
We're on
3
Bants.
years ago he was cold.
I don't know,
We're
man.
Bants.
We were looking at importance to their team, consistency of performances. Every time he's entered the field on a Premier League basis, they've won. He's important for the team to lock up games.
So substitute appearances are those 6 that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, he did not start a single game, but those 6
Oh,
sub
come
appearances,
on.
wow.
Bro,
All I know
we can
all
laugh
I know
at
is if-
substitute appearances all we want, but historically, when we talk
If
about
guys try.
top substitute appearances, and we talk about top Premier League strikers, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's involved. But you're gonna discredit him because a lot of his benefits came from the bench. No, we're not.
Solskjaer's involved in what?
Yeah, in what
There
combo is
goes in there.
Solskjaer involved in? Please.
We're talking about
Not top
Actually,
Premier
what
League
combo?
strikers.
What combo?
if we do top 10 Premier League strikers that have been effective in UCLs, Solskjaer is top 3.
Okay.
Hear that. Hear that.
That's
Alright,
facts.
I think
So
that's where
Premier
we'll
League
leave
strikers
Robert
and
Holding.
UCL. Okay, fair enough. That's the criteria we're stretching it to.
That's facts.
My
Alright.
God.
The boss
Fair.
high.
Say that in. I hear where he's coming from slightly, but anyway, moving on. He's still honorable mention. He only got 1 point. So
He was
the
10th.
next 4 names all have 2 points. So from 15th to 18th, they're all joint. They all have 2 points. Some people got 2 from 1. Some people were mixed together. And this is why I'm not going to hear anything from Ali about Rob Holding appearances, because in 18th place we have Benoit Badiashile with his 3
Come
games.
on.
Hey, man.
3 games, 3
Ali,
clean
let's talk.
sheets.
Hey, my
3
man.
Ali, let's
games,
talk.
3 clean sheets,
Amenyah,
man.
do you know what?
Hey, my man.
I've heard enough from everybody. I've heard enough. Like, it's been
Well,
a pleasure.
let me tell you, because
what a recording. I'll see
It's
you
not only Ali who has him. We have one of the moderators as well. So
Come on,
joining
that
Alfie,
guy knows.
joining Ali rather, is his boy Alfie. Alfie has
Come
given
on,
Badiashile
Alfie.
1 point as well. So
Yeah,
there
but
you go.
we know what Alfie's on. Alfie is going to sit here or sit in the Premier and say that the reason he's given that is because he knows what Badiashile's been on in Liga, and because he's a Liga and connoisseur. He claims it's one of the top 3 leagues in the world. We know this, right? So that's what I can understand Alfie doing it, because he's a moron and he's going to have a moron logic, right, behind it. But Ali, I don't know you enough to call you a moron, so I'm not going to directly say it. But what the fuck? What
You know,
is going
3
on?
games, 3
Let's
clean
hear it.
sheets. He's one man that's transformed our defense single-handedly.
And how many wins? How many wins?
No, the wins don't matter. That's not his job.
The
there.
wins don't matter.
Their own thing.
Trust me. He had chest for Rob Holding. I hear it.
3 stars, 3 clean sheets.
I hear it.
Come on.
Oh, what are we
I'm
doing
confident
today?
saying by this time.
No problem,
by
bro.
this
There's
time
not
next
enough
season,
data
Badia
to
Shaw
even
will
include him, bro.
comfortably be in everyone's top 10. He'll comfortably
honestly-
be in
No, he
everyone's
might
top
be.
10.
He might be next year, but it's not next year. We're in February.
I don't
Yeah,
know
but
if
we've
we
not
have
seen
enough
enough.
data in FM. Oh wait, now I deeped it. Guys actually want to laugh at me for putting VVD in the list when the
No, I
next
can't
two
lie. That's
names
still
we've
meaty.
heard-
That's still meaty.
No,
that's
it's
still
not.
meaty. That's still
No,
meaty.
it's not.
No,
We've
still
got
meaty.
Badia Sheila and Holding in. No,
This
it's
season,
not.
Badia
I
Shaw's been
genuinely
better than
thought that was
VVD
going to be the
though.
worst
Little we've
take of
seen.
the day. I
Holding's
thought
had a
me
better
putting
season than
VVD was going to be
VVD.
the worst take of the day.
Had a better
Honestly,
season than
did.
VVD. VVD's been dribble fast, he's been conceding penalties.
Hey,
he's been
well,
losing
Mav,
headers, he's been-
Mav mentioned about a league earner or whatever, so I thought I'd like to bring. I did a little bit of a fact check on this Badia Shile fella. Obviously, he's been very good in the 3 games he's played. However, the 9 games before he signed for Chelsea, he didn't win a single one. In fact, the last 5 Monaco wins that they had, he was either suspended, on the bench, or not in the squad. So it does make you think about that. It does make you think. But there we go. That's Badia Shile. Joining him in 18th, like I said, we have 3 other players joining him on 2 points. Next one up is going to be... Only one man has him, and it's not one of us. It's one of the moderators, so we won't spend too long. 2 points were given by Furhat to Joachim Anderson of Crystal Palace.
Top 10.
Yeah, he had a nice game versus Arsenal, but other than that,
Okay, the Rob Holding shout makes sense if Joachim Anderson's getting in there.
yeah, like, listen, he's nice, but top 10, I don't know about that one.
Them man have a minus 10 goal difference, bro. Okay.
They can see they've got a sieve for a defense, and he's made top 10 there.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
my
yeah, like I
take
said,
is
I'm not
getting
going to waste
better
too
by
much
the
on
second.
Anderson. Speaking of minus 10 goal difference, his teammate is there, and this time, sadly, it's one of us.
Yeah, ain't me.
Also joint 15th to 18th with 2 points, designated by Ali, is Mark Gahey.
Yeah, no, I'll stick
Ali,
by that
please.
one. I thought more people would put him in. Even though Palace
No
ain't
one
been
put
their
him in.
best, Mark Gay still looks solid.
Not a single
He's not
person
been as
has
good as he
agreed.
was last season, but he's still a solid centre-back. Like, he does the
I
job
think
that he
on
needs to
last
do.
year I'd hear it. On last year I'd hear it. On this year, I don't know.
Do you know what? It's hard because Gahey and Anderson are both very good centre backs, right? And if we are going just ability as the only factor, I can hear the argument. Everything else considered, nah.
Fair enough. I hear it. And the last player also on that 15th to 18th little list there. Once again, none of us have put him in, but Alfie has. Alfie's put this player 9th. And I kind of hear it, not really on Premier League basis though. He's put in Aged, who I guess if you count,
I can't hear
if
it.
you count the World Cup, he was very good. He played 90 minutes in most games. In the league, West Ham have been rather stinky, so it's a bit of a techie one to try and put him in. But like I said, I'm not too mad at it. I'll let him have that little one there. And we move on to 14th place. We are getting through these now. We now have a player with 5 points. Here we go. One of us has him here. And the only person joining him on the mod team is Ted. So we are in interesting company here. 14th place, 5 points. We have Lewis Dunk.
Interesting.
Drew.
Interesting.
You've given 9 place to Dunk.
I have
What do you
given
think
9th
about
place
that?
to Dunk. I think he's very important for his team. He's a leader. As part of that Brighton back 3, he's very, very solid. They haven't conceded too many goals. I think they've conceded maybe the 6th least goals this season. Yeah, man, I think he's very important for his team. That's about it, really. Simple, short, sweet.
I hear it, to be
I hear
fair.
it.
Brighton centre-back does deserve to
There's
be
nothing
in there,
wild.
but aesthetically, Lewis Dunk ain't the best to watch.
Why? You'd rather have Badia Shile, right?
Yeah, bro.
For importance for their team. for the whole
Long
season, right?
passes though, but he's got them passes in the locker sliding.
Trust me.
Bro, he's got that breaking the
Trust me.
line passes, but this is different.
I hear that, but listen, if we do a midfielders list in 2 weeks' time and Ali's here and I hear Enzo Fernandez, bro,
2 weeks is a lot of time for Enzo to make his way in there.
there's an issue, man. I'm surprised he put him here already. But yeah, I got Lewis Dunk Knight.
I don't completely disagree. He just doesn't make it just for me, but yeah.
Yeah, this next one might be a little bit not controversial, but maybe there's some confusion regarding his name because two people have this guy in. He's in 13th with 6 points. Two people have put him in 8th. One of those people is me. The other one is Drew. We have both put in 8th place, and no one else joined us. And I think I know why, but you're wrong. Nathan Ake.
Oh, I was close to putting him in.
Can I hear why Ake got aired by anyone else? Ali, you didn't put him in. How come?
I only aired him because I went more towards Akanji because he's impressed me a little bit more this season, being fresh into the league as well. So that's the only reason Ake missed out. And he seems to be playing some sort of hybrid left centre back, left back kind of role. I don't know. It's too hard to pinpoint him.
I agree. He's playing a bit kind of wide at times in terms of he's playing left back. I think the pairing of him and John Stones is City's best defence. However, I can only put one City player in.
Well, you say that, but just like to point out for you guys, because I had to make sure before I, put him in the list. He has played centre back in all his Champions League games this season. He played centre back in all of Netherlands World Cup games this season. And he played another 10 games at centre back in the Premier League. He's only played 8 times at left back in all competitions combined. So if anybody wants to tell me that he's a left back because he played there recently, well, we know who's utilising the recency bias, don't we, Drew? Huh? They've kind of left us hanging there. To me, he's been better than Van Dijk by a long, long mile at club and at country. So I'm not sure how Ake didn't make it on the list, but Van Dijk did. I guess that's life, isn't it? We have to just...
He's played left back and centre back more times in the Prem than Badiashile.
That is true.
I'm not letting that go.
True. That is true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, moving on. In 12th place, the one player above him, he was just mentioned actually. It's another Man City player. Only one of us has him, but then one of the mods has him a bit higher. We have the human calculator, Manuel Akanji. I don't. Ali, you chat to me about Akanji because
I was the only one here that put him in the list. What doesn't Akanji do? He's got it all in terms of Man City centre backs need. He can play on the ball. He doesn't make mistakes like that. He's composed. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be on the list, especially if Nathan Ake's on the list, because this is his first season in the Premier League. Ake's been playing Premier League since 18-19.
With Akanji, no, I can't hear it. Like the moment that I saw them get dashed 6-1 by Portugal, and he was all there getting gas because he scored one back post tapping and a 6-1 loss. That's this Akanji guy. Stick to your Carol Vorderman countdown match, man. I'm not really hearing it.
I'm expecting. Well, actually, we've just gone through it, so I don't understand how Akanji's got onto the list, and Ake hasn't, because Ake is clear of Akanji. Obviously, every City centre back is clear of Akanji. Even this season, literally, there's 4 centre backs above him. So I'm guessing Ali's list is the rest of it is just City centre back. So we're gonna have to find out.
Crazy.
Yeah, all right. In 11th place, so this is the final honourable mention. He just missed out on our top 10. He has got, funny enough, 11 points. 2 of you guys have him, and 2 of the mods as well. The 2 people are Mav and Ali, so they are now buddies again. Oh. They have both put in. Okay. Once again, it seems like people are suffering from recency bias, but fair enough. Tim Ream.
Wait. Did you just say we're suffering from recency bias? Isn't that the point of this?
Yeah, this season.
No. If I did this before Chelsea, guys weren't going to put him that high, man. Guys weren't going to put him in top 10. If I did this before the Chelsea, guys watched that Chelsea game. I said,
I can't cap.
He's good though. He's good.
I can't cap. That is absolute waff.
He was like 12 on my list. I'll be honest with you, but I think it's heavily weighted by that Chelsea game where he was. No,
but even back when they played City, Pep was lauding him up, basically saying that if he was 25, he would buy him. But the brother's 32, 33. I don't know.
That's cool, but you know what else Pep said? Pep said he'll leave if Man City get accused of any financial doping. But guess what?
Yeah,
100 charges, he's still there.
Let's keep it on the topic of what we're currently talking about, though. So
Yeah,
you
but
trying to
it's
say
about Pep's
recency
word.
bias? Wait, you trying to say recency bias when we're doing something based on this season, which we have?
No,
to
but I'm
use
talking about the
recency
last
bias.
game. I'm talking about literally like the last game. Is like
It's not off the last
reason why
game. I always banter him,
been
but
good.
Ziggy don't shut up about him because he's obviously a Fulham fan, and I have to banter it and back it off when he's in chat. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter
he doesn't
is,
shut up about Willie and Eva. Let's be fair.
if we're
using
saying
Pep
guys
and
like
Ziggy
no,
as
I
our
get,
quotes.
we can't act like Tim Ream isn't up there with these guys.
I haven't said
He
he's
is.
not. I haven't said I've put him 11th, 12th. I'm just saying it's a lot of that Chelsea game that maybe has put him in contention.
Not for me
getting
because
that.
I didn't watch the Chelsea game. I actually didn't watch it. So
Okay, no dramas. Fair. Drew, was he close to getting onto your list?
No, not really. Maybe like 14th, 15th. Again, I'd rather if Ben Mee's not in the list, then there's a question that I have to personally ask over Tim Ream. But I feel a lot of their exploits have come from their ability to score goals at this level. They've still conceded a lot of goals.
He's like 35 years old. He's got the most minutes played in the Premier League this season. I think he's there for a reason. Like, he's very good. He gets a goal here or there. I don't see why you wouldn't put him in. Age alone is probably the biggest factor as to why I put him in, if I'm being honest. Because 35, playing every game for your team, that's important.
No dramas. We move on then to our top 10. Oh, blimey. This first name. Some tables are about to be shaken and cages rattled, so to speak. In 10th place, 14 points. Only one person sitting here has this person on their list. 3 of the mods do as well. That one person is Mav. 10th place is Christian Romero. Mav, you are the only person to put that guy in.
What, in top 10?
Yes.
So hang on a minute. Everybody was calling me an idiot the other day for not putting him top 3 centre backs. Everyone, but he doesn't make top 10 now. Apparently,
who's everyone? Who's everyone?
Everyone.
When did this happen? I don't know what you're referring to.
I was literally in chat the other day, and people were telling me that Romero's top 3 centre backs in the league.
Who?
And I said he doesn't even make my top 5.
Who said
and
that?
guys were on me.
Who said that? Who said that?
None of you guys. None of you.
I'm
here.
hearing voices in my. Who said that, bro?
I can't.
Who said this?
But no, for me.
No, wait. I want to get to the bottom of this. Who said this? Like, you just said everyone called you stupid.
Literally, I was sat there talking for my usual thing for about 45 minutes in how Romero isn't top 3 centre backs in the league. But anyway, for me, Romero is one of the better centre backs in the league. But like I said, I already realised we were on banter today because guys have Badiashile, Rob Holding in their list. They have Lewis Dunk in their list. You know, so I don't know what everyone's on today.
Playing for one of the most defensive managers in the universe, and he has 3 clean sheets to show for it. Fairs, man. If that's what's like a cold centre back these days, fair enough. Like I said from time, I watched this guy. Everyone else gets called bozo this, bozo that. Only now people are starting to call it for Romero because guess what? Now he's got a red card to his name. Some other guys don't have red cards, but they're apparently bozos. If putting in 79 fouls a game means that you're a cold, aggressive centre back, fair enough. But I'm not hearing that, bro. 11th on my list. 11th. That's Ali. What are your thoughts on Romero?
Yeah, man. I feel like he gets a lot of ratings for being that aggressive, dirty kind of player, but in actuality. He makes a lot more mistakes than what he cleans up. Especially when you think Tottenham play 5 at the back. But when you're thinking of top defences in the Premier League, Tottenham are nowhere near there. They don't deserve to have a player in there for me anyway. Like,
so recency bias, we figure it in the World Cup, or we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen?
Well, Otamendi was better than him first. Cool.
No, okay, but was Romero not also super important for them? We're gonna just pretend he isn't.
He was good.
Earlier, no, wait. The exact sentence I heard earlier was when someone put Aguerd in their defense. Oh, he had a cold World Cup performance, so I hear it. But we're not but Romero.
But I didn't put him in.
No. But you said, and I quote, so I hear it. You said.
Yeah, but I put Romero 11th, so I also hear that. But I'm not putting him top 10.
So
I don't hear again in my top 10.
Aguerd in their top 10. You're calm with that. You hear Rob Holding going into someone's top 10, but Romero's a problem.
I didn't say I don't hear Romero.
Today. I don't know.
My first
what we're
thing
on today.
was that
Guys have marked
he's number
way
one
in the list.
that missed out.
I don't know.
He's 11th, bro. I never said
know.
I never said he's meaty. He's 11th. Like, okay, you had a decent World Cup, and then you came back to your club and you've been meaty again. So I don't know what you want to say, bro. I didn't put Aguerd in my list. I didn't even say he should be top 12. I just said, okay, fair as I hear it on a World Cup basis, but in the league, West Ham have been stinky. That's what.
Fair enough.
Nah, if you think
Romero's
Romero's
not
beast,
top
that's
10.
calm, innit?
You
That's
actually
beast.
think there
True.
are genuinely 9 centre backs better than Romero, or
10.
sorry, 10 to be exact.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Drew, you also think there's 10 centre backs better than Romero? Is that correct?
He has Rob Holding in his list. Rob Holding wouldn't even make the team if you had Romero, but fair enough.
Don't know about that. Drew, chat to me about Romero. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
on this fella?
with that last statement you made saying that if Arsenal had Romero, he would have made the team. I honestly, genuinely believe that Rob Holding is more reliable mentally than Romero, bro. Like, why, for the role that I have included Rob Holding in my list, would I then put Romero in? The rebuttal could be, well, when Rob Holding, when he played against Tottenham last season, he lost his head. But there's maturity and there's growth. We're talking about right here, right now. I just think that he's too rash. I think he's too ill-disciplined. I just don't like watching him play football.
Well, there he is, 10th place. Congrats to you. You just about made it into our list. We have 2 names that are joint, and then the rest, the top 7 is all clean cut or whatever. So in joint 8th and 9th, the first name I'll go with, myself. Well, there we go. Myself and Drew have this guy in, and 3 of the mods do. Ted has him very, very high up. We have Shaw of Newcastle. I felt as though, like, that's a reasonable one to have. Obviously, he's in a team that has conceded, you know, a stupidly low amount of goals, clean sheets galore.
12 clean sheets.
Yeah. I've put in 10th just because, you know, I feel like there could be some other factors as to why Newcastle are also so good defensively, but I still think his contribution warrants a nice 10th place on my list. Drew, you put him a bit higher, obviously.
Yeah, I put him in 6th, if I'm being honest. Yeah, obviously, as an individual, you could say there's definitely other individuals that are in my top 10 list that aren't as high as him. But if we talk about the impact, you can't, in my opinion, not put 2 of the centre-backs that currently play for the team that have conceded the least goals in the league.
Fairs. Ali, was he close to yours or not really a consideration for sure?
No, it was definitely a consideration. I'm actually trying to think back to why he didn't make it onto my list, if I'm being honest with you. I really like Shaw in it. He's got a long shot in him. He's a solid defender. But I think maybe I just had a couple other players in there, like Badia Shield, that I wanted to put ahead of him.
So would you swap out Badia Shield now if you had the choice, or you keeping your boy?
Yeah, I think, in fact, I'll swap out Gaye instead of Badia Shield.
And what about Akanji?
Fairs. No comment on that one. I plead the fifth.
I actually think he's the least important of the defenders. So for that reason, I just, like I said, he lost his spot, but that's just me.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not too mad at it. I don't really care that much about Shaw, to be fair, to like argue it. So yes. But joining him in 8th place, also with 23 points. Every single mod has this player in, but amongst us 4, it's only myself and Ali who have this player. His name has been mentioned earlier. It's Ben Mee. I imagine maybe Mav is a bit, you know, salty about how he crashed it on United's head 4-0 earlier on this season. Maybe that could be why he ignored it. But I felt as though he's got 9th place for me because, once again, Brentford are a team that are not very easy to break down. You try spamming crosses, they ain't going to work. Them, man, they defend their box well, but then they got a mad counter as well. Set pieces, he's going to be a threat consistently. So I felt like Ben Mee. Ali, you got him quite high up. You rated his team.
Man, I've always been a fan of him even since like his Burnley days. But I thought maybe it was a thing where it's just a Sean Dyche system that is kind of busting him a little bit. But seeing him in Brentford's team this season, he looks very solid. Like, I like a centre back that you can trust. That's nothing flashy, but he does the basics right. And I think Ben Mee is that, man. Like, he gets the job done. You give him a task in the team, and he'll do it.
Fair enough, I hear that. But you didn't like Lewis Dunk's thing. You said for Lewis Dunk, it was supposed to be nice to watch and that, but...
Yeah, but
Fairs.
Lewis Dunk comes across
Honestly,
as if he's
everything
got
just,
a bit of.
every time we go through a player, everyone's reasons for everything just completely changes. Like everyone's just 360ing on everything, every other player that gets mentioned right now. It's actually quite funny. Like for example, Tim Ream was laughed at because apparently Fulham's defense is leaking.
Who laughed at Tim Ream?
I've done a Cowsey like I said I was doing earlier, and Fulham have conceded 2 more goals than Brentford, but apparently Tim Ream's thing isn't good enough. But Ben Mee is the next coming of Sergio Ramos apparently. So yeah, I don't know.
You're just making things up again. You're hearing voices in your head, bro, making things up. No one said he's Ramos, and no one laughed at Tim Ream. Like,
I'm not. Drew
not
literally said specifically
No.
that Fulham concede goals.
No. I said that I would attribute their place being so high in the table more so to their attacking prowess, bro. And then on top of that, I said if guys have Tim Ream and don't have Ben Mee, then I have to ask questions, because I, in my brain, considered Ben Mee slightly above Tim Ream, but I don't have either of them, bro. It's not like I have Ben Mee.
You'll be happy to know
that
Ali followed that protocol. He has Tim Ream and Ben Mee just a bit higher. Mav has Tim Ream,
fair,
but
bro.
not Ben Mee.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
It's all fair, bro.
First, there we go, man. That is our...
Yeah, no, Ben Mee, I've got Ream 9th, but there we go.
Yeah, and there's Van Dijk in 10th. Cool. All right. 7th place. The points jump up quite a bit now. 7th place. 7th is actually quite close together as well. Here we do have some names that are going to be, as I said, a bit controversial. People are going to be very unhappy or happy with their positionings. 7th place, 45 points. Every single person on the entire thing has this player except Ted and Tyler. Mav and Ali have him the highest out of everyone. I won't put numbers. Like, I won't say who's top 3 for people, otherwise it might spoil the end or whatever. But yeah, Mav and Ali had this guy very high up. His name is Lisandro Martinez, 7th place in our top 10 centre.
Do you know what? 7? I'm done with this video. I'm done with this video, man.
Bro,
I can't be bothered. I actually can't be asked. How is Martinez 7th in top 10 defenders of this season? Like,
he's done decent.
I'm sorry. It just doesn't make. No, I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. This list is so fudged. It's unbelievable, man.
No, he's a bit of a shaky start, but then he's starting to recover it, like, and been a lot better. That's cold. Like, top 10.
I have him 6th, but the reason why I have him there compared to other players.
Wait, you haven't
I haven't even explained my reason.
No, you can continue to explain while I react. That's not a problem.
It's fine, but the reason why I have him 6th in my list is I'm comparing him to other teams and the defenders that they have individually. Yeah, maybe I'd have him in my top 4, bro. Right?
Yeah, but speaking on importance, take him out of that team.
Bro, I can't take him out of that team. There's been times where he's been on the bench and United have played well. There's been times where United have played a left back and centre back, and they've played relatively well, even though you could see that they could have played better. That's my point there.
on the pitch and messed up as well, and then given away pens or got yellows and that. So I hear what Drew's saying. Again, he's good. He's definitely proved a lot of us wrong. He's been way better than initially he looked to be after that disaster class of a beginning. But just top 7 is cold, bro. There's a lot of centre backs in the league. There's like, what, 50, 60 centre backs? Top 7 is.
I would also argue if we did this list 2 months into the season to have Lisandro Martinez in the top 10, you might say that would even be wild.
Lisandro Martinez, keep doing your thing. Maybe you'll go even higher. But for now, 7th place. 1 point ahead of him on 46 points. 6th place. This is the first player that every single member of the voting panel has got in. Drew has him the highest out of us lot. Some of the mods have him even higher than that. We have Man City's very own Jonathan Stones. I guess Drew, you can get started on that one. You've got him the highest out of the 4 of us. You rating this thing?
I'm rating John Stones very highly. Never used to be a fan of him. He's one of those players as well at the time when he got bought. Again, I understand players can't choose their price tags, but I thought this amount for him, like, what was it, 50 million for John Stones? Nah, there's no way. Had a rough start.
And he was error prone as well.
Yeah, lots of errors since coming from Everton, loads of injuries, but he sort of found his feet. looks amazingly comfortable on the ball, great ball playing defender. So
I hear it. Yeah, to be fair, he literally I think the last 3 losses, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I think I saw it a few days ago. The last 3 losses he wasn't involved in.
He hasn't been
the
involved,
United
bro.
loss and whatnot. He wasn't there.
Tottenham
but my
lost
good
as
friend
well,
Ali
injured.
has put John Stones in his list, but 1 below Akanji. I'd like to know the reasoning behind that one, please.
Mad.
I think John Stones is amazing, yeah. Like he's finally becoming the player we all thought he was gonna be. But given Akanji's first year in the Premier League, I feel like that's a big factor. Like to come in the Premier League and settle down so quickly, I think is
He's been
something
aight,
you have
like-
to give him.
Do you know what? I
talking like he's been cold or
respect
something,
what you're saying
but
about
fairs.
Akanji hitting the ground relatively running, fit into the system. Would you say that Akanji's been better this season than John Stones, taken away from the fact that he's his first season or not?
I think it is debatable, but I think slightly. Just because John Stones as well, I feel like he's been in and out of the side at times.
He's Man City's best centre back. I think the other centre back he plays alongside Ruben Diaz is one of the most overrated centre backs for a very long time. He had a great season. Shout out him. But yeah, I don't know. 1 season wonder, in my opinion. I think, like I said, John Stones and Ake is Man City's best centre back pairing. Rightfully, he starts basically every game for England for that reason. I think he is England's best centre back by a mile. So yeah, I rate his thing.
Fairs. I hear that. Yeah, all very fair points to be fair. Stones could have maybe been a bit higher or a bit lower, depending on what you're factoring in. So it's all blessed. Now in 5th place. Once again, 5th, 6th, and 7th were separated by 2 points, by the way. It's 45, 46, 47 points. With 47 points rather, in 5th place, once again, almost every single person has this guy in, actually. Drew does not. But the rest of us all have given points to Raphael Varane. I think I can only start with Drew because he has not made your top 10.
Nah, man, don't feel him. I respect his career, but if we're talking about this season, he folded in the Manchester derby, bro. Folded, left the pitch crying, coward. Yeah.
True.
I feel as though he looks good in a partnership with Martinez, but as an individual, when I watch him as an individual, nah, not really a fan of him, bro.
Varane not being in a list that Rob Holding's in, this is crazy to me. Like I said, the biggest change in United's team since Ten Hag's arrival is their defense. Simple as that. Martinez and Varane together are a revelation to Man United's defense. And they are among the best centre-backs in the Prem this season. United are a completely different team this year. How he's not in everyone's list is crazy.
I respect and understand the point you've made that since Ten Hag's come, the best thing that you lot have done is work defensively. But Varane was there last season. You lot have added Casemiro. That he's then added Wan-Bissaka back and got him back playing at top form. He's then got Shaw looking better. He's then revitalised Rashford. I feel that there's a lot of other aspects alongside the combination that he's had with Martinez that have proven to be the reason as to why you lot have played better, as opposed to just Varane as an individual. Because as an individual, he's complaining about the amount of games that he's had to play. As an individual, he's recently retired from international football because he can't handle it.
Do you know what? I respect and love the fact you've mentioned that, because I'm fully aware that you and Amenyah and me and everyone on this list have an Arsenal centre-back that fits a lot of the criteria you said, barring the stuff that doesn't matter to football. But carry on, sing his praises when his name comes up.
But absolutely, but when that person may or may not come up, I also have statistical information to back up my reasoning as to why I include that player, which is relevant to defence. Because it's not like I've just said the statement that Varane's. It's not like I've just said the statement that Varane's complaining about the amount of games and then it's left it as that. His age has
I don't think you can hold that against him.
Bro, I mean, if we're going to talk about age, then I don't want to see someone else in this. I don't want to see anyone else in this list that's above 36 years old.
So age and injuries, right, have nothing to do with someone retiring from international football, no?
I'm not talking about age here. If I was talking about age and that was my main point, I wouldn't have somebody else in this list.
You can call on Rob Holding whenever you need him. He's going to be there, ready to go.
Yeah, I was about to say, you probably have statistical information like you did for Rob Holding to be in your top 10. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Just
The
for
statistical
just
is
for
what we're
notice, by the way,
is absolutely what we're. What
I'm
we're
just
using
playing devil's
as to
advocate
speak
because
on
I
it.
actually have Varane the highest out of the four of us. So I'm
No,
I'm just playing devil's
no.
advocate, you know what I mean?
Like I'm not.
I think he's been way better because I can't lie. Last year he was meaty, bro. Last year United fans were gassing
Yeah,
him up. He was
100%.
meaty.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear
100%.
anything.
100%.
Much better, mate. Like, well done, cold.
And maybe the improvement is a factor in including him wherever I've put him, but I think he is still. He's got a certain pedigree that he brings to the pitch that you want him there. You want him on the pitch.
100%. United are a worse team without him. Simple as that. Whether you like it or not, they literally play worse when he's not in defence. So
Fair enough. All right then. Now, move on to a player that has just missed out on a podium position, 4th place, 52 points. I'm gonna mention everyone that has him, and then by the 2 names that haven't mentioned him, you will know who this is. Everyone has this player, except who do you reckon doesn't have him?
Alfie and maybe Ted.
Alfie is one of them. The other one's Ali. He hasn't put this guy in.
I know who it is.
It's going to be in 4th place, Gabriel Magalhaes. Why,
I like him.
Ali, is he not in your top 10?
Maybe he could have been towards the lower end of it, but I feel like Arsenal fans have spent the last 2 years trying to gas him beyond what he is. I think he's a decent centre-back, but I think that's all he is. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's a showstopper. He gets into all the teams in the Prem. I just think he fits into your system. He's a left-footed centre-back, so he does the job that needs to be done.
It's because he crashed it on your yard, isn't it? That's why you're kind of upset. Let's be fair. Because he crashed it on your yard. He ran past the Aubameyang celebrating like he was Drogba. I hear why you don't like him. For me, I cannot understand how he's not even in everyone here's top 4, to be honest with you. He should be in at least the top 4 for everyone. It's beyond me how a man can play. I've been played every single game in every single competition apart from away versus Bodo Glimt, which, you know, who cares about that one? You go put me at centre back, they'll probably still get a result there. So he's been ever present in a team that has been firing in the league. They got to 50 points or whatever, and he has been the one that's been there every single time. I don't know how he's not in a top 10. People talk about like his bozo gene or whatever, which I'm not gonna lie to you, he's definitely been familiar with such a trait. More notably last season, I can think of like Wolves and whatnot. This season, people act like he's still the same brother. I can't. If we can say for Varane that he was meaty last year, but now he's been cold. Gabriel was good last year, but had a couple dodgy errors, and now he's ironed out those errors. And I start asking, okay, list me like 3 of the horrific mistakes he made. Nobody can. He's not getting dumb red cards. He's not scoring own goals. So, Mav, please tell me why he doesn't make your top 4.
For me personally, I've covered Gabriel on this podcast so many times. I don't know what more I can say. I think.
Do you know what I'll ask you then? Do you know what I'll ask you? How about this? I'll ask you this question then. We did literally, was it 2 weeks ago? We did a start sub sell, right?
Yes.
And it was Gabriel, Romero, and Lisandro, correct?
Yes.
So why did you choose to sell Gabriel, but now you've got Gabriel higher than Romero, and it was all based on this season?
Because this is based on wider factors than individual, right? So for example, the keep sub sell is an individual versus individual situation.
So is this,
and this top list is involved in importance to their team. Exactly like Ali said there, he is super important to Arsenal's defense. If you were to change Gabriel for a lot of these centre backs in our top 10 list, would Arsenal miss him? The answer for me is no, and I will stick by that. I will stick by that forever. Yeah, but you're gonna say that because you're an Arsenal fan and they're top of the league right now.
I have no issues.
It's funny how the conversation was very different when Arsenal weren't top of the league last year.
I was not saying that about Gabriel. It wasn't a different thing. I've been saying the same. Bro, this guy comes. People say, let's say Harry Kane is best striker over the last couple of years in Premier League. He's treating him like a little boy. He dunks on his head frequently. If Kane doesn't get a penalty, he's doing niche. Gabriel consistently has been dominant. Any strikers that has come up against him. I think I can think of one error. It was against Fulham at the Emirates, where he let Mitrovic score. But then guess what? Whenever he makes these errors, give him a couple minutes, he goes back and makes up for it with a goal. So some other guys are making bad errors and costing their team for the rest of the match. They're costing 3 points. Gabriel makes a couple errors and atones for it. So I don't know if I can really hear that one. Drew, chat to me about Gabriel, because these guys still don't want to hear how good he is.
I mean, I've gone to watch a few games live this season. I can confidently say that he's been Arsenal's best defender this year. He has the most last-ditch tackles in the Premier League this season. He's shown a bit more discipline, I could say. The odd mistake, in fairness.
He's emotional.
Who doesn't? Underrated in terms of passing range and passing through the lanes, passing through the phases of play. I love watching him play. I love him. Come on, you Gunners.
Yeah. Let's say, come on, you got. I'm still shocked that he's not in your top 10. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I can hear that. When Badiashile, Gueye gets in, Akanji gets in.
Yeah, I don't. But
Swap-
like I said,
swap-
the reasoning from
That has
people
to be
here
a
today
agenda.
is crazy.
Swap Gabriel with Tim Ream and no one bats an eyelid.
I bat an
Fits into
eyelid,
that
bro.
team
I bat
perfectly.
an
You
eyelid.
don't-
I bat an eyelid.
I promise you guys.
That's crazy,
I
bro.
promise
That's
you.
crazy. Do you know how high a line Arsenal played? Tim Ream will be finished, bro.
This
You
is what
actually-
I'm
you
saying.
actually just
I'm
lost
not
him,
hearing.
bro.
I'm not hearing the Tim Ream one for sure. I'm definitely not hearing that. I think Arsenal fans are very much right now very, very biased. We're hearing someone put Rob Holding in a top 10 list.
Nah,
and
but
Yeah,
bro,
that's
not
great.
admit-
That's
and
great.
not
admit-
But-
I hear what-
and not
You're
admitting
saying
that it's
you're saying
banter.
for Arsenal
It has
fans.
to be
You're
banter.
saying
It
you're
has
saying for
to be.
Arsenal
There's
fans.
no- there's no
But hear me
banter.
out.
There's no
Hear me out.
person
Hear me out.
on
Hear me
the
out.
planet
Bro.
that
We
anyone
can talk
can
about
use.
Arsenal fans all we want, but look
not
at Chelsea
bants,
fans. Look at the Chelsea fan here, bro. 10th place,
Yeah,
Badiashile.
Amenyah, and
9th
I
place,
got onto
Mark
it.
Gueye, who was at Chelsea 3 years ago.
And I got
so it's
onto
not just Arsenal.
I got onto him for both of those.
It's not an Arsenal thing. Like, everyone is putting their players where they
Bro,
believe
it's
they should be
difficult.
going. I believe
It's difficult to not put players that are currently in a system that is working at the top of the defensive list when they're conceding the least goals and the second least goals.
But with everything you just said, you've put Lissandro 7th on your list. So all of those things you described about what Gabriel does for Arsenal, Martinez does for Man
Yes,
United.
absolutely.
So you
And
can,
I'm
so
not-
you,
I'm
so
not
you
taking
can
it-
watch.
I'm not taking
so you
anything
can
away
aerial
watch
from
presence
Martinez.
as well.
I'm not taking-
Aerial
so you
presence.
can- I'm
You
not
can
taking-
watch aerial
I'm not
presence
taking
in both
anything
boxes.
away from Martinez, but like I said, the other
You are,
players.
'cause you put him seventh.
No. I'm
You
not.
are
Bro,
taking
no,
away.
no. I'm not taking away from him. I'm adding onto other players because the players that I have above him in my list, for the importance of their side, for the systems that their team has, I feel as though I've been relatively fair with that list. Everyone that is in my list, barring one player, plays for a team that has defensively been more solid than Man United, bro.
So all 6 players above are part of teams that are defensively better than Man United.
5 of the players are, and one of them is an anomaly.
He said one is. We'll get to that. Well, listen, we'll get to
Like
that.
I
We'll get
said,
to
we'll
that.
get to that, bro.
Right, podium
It's not a
places.
Chelsea
Final
thing.
3.
Badiashile and Gueye and them, man. Nah, it's not that, bro. It's not an Akanji thing.
Surprised there weren't no Saliba in that film. Anyway, third
Damn
place,
close.
59 points. Everyone has this player except one person. This time it's not Drew. This time it's Ali. 59 points. He's quite high up for most people, except Ted. Ted doesn't put him that high. Ali's not got him at all. It's Botman of Newcastle.
Crazy.
I guess we have to start with you, Ali. You haven't put Botman in your list
That's
at
crazy.
all, which means you have
Yeah,
you have
no.
no Botman or Shaw.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I
Yeah.
realised what happened with the Newcastle.
That's
boys.
crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I feel
bro.
like the bigger attribute to Newcastle's amazing defence right now is Nick Pope. He's in the form of his life. But Botman has been alright, but still, Nick Pope is the biggest
Alright.
factor of that Newcastle team.
Brother, just
And
say you don't watch
defence.
Newcastle, man. It's cool. It's actually cool.
Who wants
Just
to watch
say you
them
don't, just say
boring
you don't watch
nil-nils
Newcastle.
anyway?
It's cool, bro. Just say that, man.
All them
No,
nils, Nick Pope's making saves of his life.
Bro, you think 0-0 is just because of a keeper that's facing 20 shots a game and making 20 saves? Just say
He's got some of the most
you
amount
watch
of
Sky
saves.
Sports scores and
He's
you
got
see
some
the
of the most
scoreline,
amount
bro.
of
Just
saves.
come on,
And
man.
a keeper that usually has that, they don't concede that many chances. It's not as if
on,
Newcastle
man.
aren't conceding chances. Newcastle concede chances still, bro. He's very good, Botman. Very good. I rate him. But I still haven't seen enough of him. And that's
You
definitely
haven't
a
seen
factor.
enough of
I
him, but
watch.
you've seen enough of Badiashile. Cool.
Yeah, bro. I
Cool.
watched-
You don't
yeah,
watch Newcastle,
that's-
bro. Just say that.
I don't
Just
watch
say-
him the same. That's
just
the
say
truth.
that.
That
I
is
can't
true.
lie. In my top 10 list, I haven't watched Newcastle enough, and I didn't put them in. Just say that, bro.
Like I said,
The reason why I'm confused is because Ben Mee is quite high as well, so it's not even like a.
Jokes, bro.
You have Ben Mee the highest out of all of us, but then there's no Botman. That's staggering. He is the reason why Shaw looks a lot better. It's always easy to look good when you've got a nice partner next to you.
1,000,000%.
And I feel like he has been one of the more transformative players. That's fine now with Pope, Botman, Bruno Guimaraes, and then you have, I guess, Wilson or whoever up top. It's doing well for them. So I don't see how he doesn't make a list. But Fairs, Mav, your thoughts on Botman as a fellow CB?
Like I said, I don't know what criteria people have used. This is crazy to me. This is Jambaz. Botman not even in the list is wild. I genuinely believe that Botman is probably the best centre back in the league. However, the reason he's not there for me, they're not top of the league. And we haven't seen Botman again in a team, with a shirt as heavy as an Arsenal or City. However, what I will say, he is again the reason why Pope has as many clean sheets as he does. And that's very clear by the fact that when Pope goes into the England squad, he goes straight back out because Pope is a very, very average goalkeeper and he's made him look world class. It's another Edouard Mendy situation where Edouard Mendy looked like the best keeper in the world and he's slowly got found out now the defence in front of him aren't as good.
I'm rattled.
I'm
rattled. I'm rattled. Obviously, you see the scorelines. You see 0-0. You think, 0-0, clean sheet. It means it's the keeper. Cool, man. It's fine.
I'm putting Botman under a microscope from now, and I will be back. I will be back.
We've all been there. We've all made mistakes. We've all had stinkers. No problem.
There's our third place, Sven Botman. Now then, on to our top two. Blimey. This is interesting. I think everyone watching, everyone here now knows who these two players are.
Yeah, I think so.
The points gap.
Made it, man.
Bro.
The points gap. One of them.
I'm rattled,
I can't believe
man.
one's. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I've just seen where you put them both, Mav. Second place with 70 points. Every single person here has him. His name is William Saliba. Second place. I'll be honest with you. This is where I realized that people don't really watch Arsenal like that. This is where I realized, okay, people kind of watch it like on the side. Because for all the slander that Gabriel Magalhaes has received and the positions that he was in people's lists, Saliba at times has had to be helped out by Gabriel. Now, I'm Saliba's biggest fan, and I'm number one Saliba super fan. I got his signed shirt and everything. That first 3 months or whatever it was, I was even saying he's been the best in the league so far. If we did it in November, best in the entire league. But he got his fourth yellow card against Leeds in October last year, and since then, the last 10 Premier League games, he had to play with a bit of a handbrake on. He can't be as aggressive and on the front foot as he usually was before that. And in that time, Gabriel has been sweeping up. Like Drew said, there's a stat about last man tackles or whatever. Saliba's had a couple errors, which you expect from a 21-year-old. But that being said, to give him some more praise in that, he has, of course, one possession in the defensive third, at least 11 times more than his next person. He's got 91 times doing that. So I think he's definitely top 5. Second place, it shows me that guys just have their preconceived notion of what Arsenal players are. And with that, I'll go to Mav, who has him in his top 3.
So Saliba, again, people are very aware with me. Your breakdown there is 100%. I agree with every word you said. The reason Saliba is higher for me is the fact that he has come in this season. And essentially, it's another one of those where, because of his addition alongside Gabriel, alongside Ben White, who I was wrong about, and I've admitted I was wrong about, transitioning to right back and playing absolutely ridiculous when he's out there. Tomiyasu obviously having stints right back, left back. And if Saliba doesn't go in, your defense isn't as solid as this. And for that reason, Saliba's gone above.
Ali, how do you feel watching Arsenal CB be this good? Obviously, you got him in your top 3 as well. Does it pain you watching him cooking like that when guys were expecting that from Fofana?
It more pains me when I hear how people talk about him, because for me, he gets a lot of protection with Ben White being the right back on his side. Like, Ben White plays very narrow, so he gets a lot of protection, especially compared to what Gabriel gets on the other side with Zinchenko being there. Yeah, I don't think he's as special as Arsenal fans seem to think he is. Yeah, he's got something, just not here.
Just to
but I hope he's not top 2 though.
This guy's got some hater energy, bro. It's crazy.
That is serious hater energy.
I'm Arsenal's biggest hater.
But still, the fact that you put him top 3, that means like, okay, deep down, yeah, you're like, can't lie. Hey, this guy's cold. I believe now that the yellow carding has ended after the United game, we'll see the real Saliba again, hopefully. And I do believe Saliba will go beyond Gabriel. But for now, he's 5th on my list. And funnily enough, actually, me and Drew have Gabriel and Saliba in the exact same positions. So that's interesting. Drew, chat to me about Saliba. How come you've got him below Gabriel?
I explained it before. Gabriel's been our best centre-back this season. As a young player, playing first-team football, you then take a World Cup break. He's gone to the World Cup. He's gone to Qatar. He's not playing. He's then come back. He's a little bit shaky, a little bit rusty. Some of those mistakes are coming up forward again. Understandable. But he still, as a pairing, has been invaluable. But I do think that as a 2, we would have a bigger miss if Gabriel got injured than Saliba. Because if Gabriel got injured, who are we going to play as a left-footed centre-back? It's just not going to have the same effect.
That Kiwi or guy.
Do you get what I'm going to say? So, just happy to see
I'm not going to be mad at it. Yeah, exactly. It's an Arsenal player, so I ain't going to be mad at it. But it is quite funny how the 2 Arsenal fans have him, and Alfie, actually. The 2 Arsenal fans and Alfie have him the lowest. Alfie for obvious reasons. The Spurs rat. But everyone else has put him like in their top 3. Saliba's thing, obviously, it's led to a couple mistakes. But I just like the way... the little shoulder drop, he receives the ball, he just sends you one way, boom, sprays the pass to someone else. Like I think he's so...
He never has,
does everything
he's always willing to get the
innit?
ball. He'll play it out wide to Ben White and then he'll drop off quickly, creating different angles,
I think
different pitches.
I mentioned Zinchenko as well. I feel as though Gabriel probably has benefited from Zinchenko being in the team more so, because Zinchenko is so comfortable on the ball that he's not having to give it to Tierney, who, as much as I love him, Tierney is extremely one-footed.
Old school left
Zinchenko,
back from a back foot. Zinchenko's a lot more fluid.
Yeah. But there we go, man. That's our 2nd place. And in 1st place, we all know who it is now, but as he got 90 points, let us find out. Furhat gave this guy 10 points. Tyler gave this guy 10 points. Ali gave this guy 10 points. I gave him 10 points. No one else did, which means he has failed to get 90 points. He's actually got 75, so only 5 points ahead of Saliba. His name is Thiago Silva. Congrats to you, son. His wife was right. His wife was right all along. You have to respect Thiago Silva. He plays in 20 years in Premier League. And he's doing his thing, bro. I'll be honest with you, to start with, I really was conflicted putting him number 1. Because how can I put number 1 a guy that plays for Chelsea who have been stinking it up the entire season? But then I realised if it wasn't for them, they could be chatting to like West Ham
and them, man, bro. Serious.
Yeah, so
serious.
I have to respect what Thiago Silva's been doing across this season. I'll put him number 1. I think the fact that he's doing this at this age as well obviously has to be a factor. Ali, you've also got him number 1. Thoughts on Thiago Silva?
Bear in mind, he still plays international football as well, so he's still playing games week in, week out. I haven't seen a striker give him, or a type of striker give him problems. Like, he can play against quick strikers, he can play against a strong striker.
Eddie Nketiah? Eddie Nketiah? Nketiah's in the room?
Don't even get me started on Nketiah. I'll say that for another day. But he's not giving... like, any trouble Thiago Silva gets is because of a poor Koulibaly or a poor Chalobah kind of causing problems for the team.
Was it his fault? Was Koulibaly's fault when it was West Brom and he had that stinker of a game as well? Yeah, was it?
I'm pretty sure that was his debut, early days, and even that game.
Don't worry about that, bro.
After the mistake that he made, he's still here cleaning up.
I mean, obviously my team's or my list will be on screen at some point, as you know. And like I said, I very much formed my list off of all of the criteria. And at the end of the day, for me, when you're playing in a team that's struggling and currently in 9th spot, no matter how good you are as an individual, I think you have to factor in how the team are doing in some respects. So the 3 I've got above him are Saliba, Botman, and Martinez. For the reason that they've come in and changed the teams that they've come into, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, Drew, you got him in 3rd place. Any words on Thiago Silva?
I mean, he's been holding it up, really. Leader. I understand Mav's point of, because of where they are on the table, you have to consider that factor. But I try to consider that, but also isolate the defence and the transition. The same way I kind of looked at Fulham. Chelsea have a goal difference of 1, and that's because they've conceded 21 goals and scored 22 goals. And I think every other team around them has conceded like 30 goals. A lot of Chelsea's position isn't down to their defence. It's down to their waffle midfield and their attack. It's just being toothless. If he got injured and he had to play someone like Koulibaly and Badiashile, They are looking at being
Whoa,
in 16th, 17th, bro. No joke.
I'll fully hear
That
it.
is such a stretch, but yeah, fair enough.
No, we'll see. But
is
there we
such
have
a
it. That
stretch.
is
That would be.
our top 10. 10th place, we have Christian Romero. Joint 8th and 9th, we have Ben Mee and Shaw. 7th place is Sandro Martinez. 6th place, John Stones. 5th, Rafael Varane. 4th, Gabriel Magalhaes. 3rd, Botman. 2nd, William Saliba. And the number 1, Thiago Silva. Hopefully you man enjoyed it. As per usual, leave a like, leave some comments, subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know who was the donkey of the day, who had the hella stinkers, who was your man of the match performance in this list. It's been a very fun one. I gotta go crop these because it's been a long video still. Do the usual stuff, man. Let us know your list. Let us know who should be there, who shouldn't be there. Go follow all these men on their socials. They'll be on the screen. You guys know the vibes. Have a wonderful weekend in a bit.